Every day, thousands of people walk, ride, jog, or bike on the Waterfront promenade that spans much of the Baltimore harbor. But one section of the promenade is stirring up a big controversy and possibly a major lawsuit from the city of Baltimore. ABC 2 News' Christian Schaefer is here with that story tonight. What's up, Chris?
Rosie, the disputed section is in Canton. It floats on a pier in the harbor, unlike the rest of the promenade, which is a brick walkway on land from Federal Hill all the way around to Canton. The city says the developer of the townhomes with the floating promenade was supposed to build a land-based version, but never did. The people who live there now are caught in the middle. You could jog over the Peerbased promenade that wraps around the Moorings townhomes in Canton and never know that it's at the center of a dispute that could wind up in Baltimore Circuit Court.
We want a court to determine what is required to be on this property in the way of a land-based promenade.
The developer of the Moorings installed the Peerbased promenade more than a decade ago, but a brick promenade was always supposed to be here in what is now the residents' backyards. And that's another problem. Some of those yards have barbecue pits or even pillars supporting decks built onto land that was designated for the land-based promenade.
From our perspective, there's no way to avoid that. It needs to be there.
From the perspective of the people who live in these townhomes, which have sold for upwards of $1 million, the pier promenade is just fine where it is.
What is the aversion to approving and making an ordinance change to allow it to float?
The city says the pier isn't ideal for the handicapped, and every other developer all around the harbor spent the money for a land-based walkway.
It seems like right when we reach the goal line, we get kicked back another 100 yards. And at this point, I understand that you disagree, and I understand you're upset.
Residents say it's the developer's fault, but legally, the city solicitor says now it's their problem.
The obligation to build the land-based promenade is the obligation of the developer. Well, when the developer's gone, it's the obligation of the homeowners association.
An explanation that doesn't sit well with the people who live in the Moorings, many of whom pay more than $20,000 a year in city property taxes.
You can't sue us. You only got to sue the builder.
No.
If it's on the plans, why are you suing? If it's on the plan, he should build it.
Now, the city has not filed its lawsuit just yet. Officials say they'd like to meet with the residents here one more time within the next week or so to see if they can reach some kind of a compromise. But it's pretty clear that the city won't budge on that demand that some kind of land-based promenade be built around the Moorings townhomes in Canton. Christian Schaefer, ABC 2 News.